been an absolute. I'm not going to do what YouTube can do. YouTube can do one pretty much. No, I'm just trying to close down the stream on there. So I can only apologise for the unprofessional behaviour of myself. YouTube just absolutely smashed me out. So let's start again. I've made a couple of little notes on this one. So yeah, welcome to the chat. I hope you're all doing really well again. Let's do this again on the 26th of April 2025. I nearly said 2028 as well. Welcome to the chat. Just get in the chat with your comments. One of the things that you will find here is basically we do a logical chat on here. You know, I'm not a dictator of the chat. You can't compete. Let's try again. Exactly. Let's try this again. Right. Whenever you don't succeed, let's try again. So yeah, I'm not a dictator. We are back, Scott. Legends of the chat. You can't compete. Scott, legends of the chat, and our moderators. So just be respectful. One of the things that I will say, I'm not a dictator of the chat. You know, I let the chat lead as much as we can. Obviously, be respectful to the chat. Be respectful to the moderators. Be respectful to me. If you can't be, we don't mind banter. I think I find it really invigorating and really funny when we have other fans from different clubs coming on here as well. We get some amazing fans from different clubs who are respectful. We love the banter, but they get on board, and you know, we can talk about their club a little bit as well. Yeah. So if you don't, you'll be gone, and it's not worth your time. It's not worth my time. So where are we today? Antony. Where is the 100 million coming from? Yeah, so there's this 100 million apparently, Scott, from Antony, Garnacho and Højlund. I've seen 100 million coming from just the Antony and the Højlund sale. Now, whether that's, I can't remember who said that, but I think that's I think that comes from the monthly payments, right? So if you think about it, if we make Hola, Sydney, I hope you're doing really, really well. So I think that 100 million, hi, my friend. So I think it comes from, and it depends on who you talk to on this one. I don't think it's 100 million cash. I think it's a you know, 20 million pound a year saving on the players. So if Rasmus goes, we save, we get a loan fee on that, and obviously we save that. 630 Vamoose. It's also from money saved on the night. Exactly. This is going to come from Onana, from the books. You can't compete. I think you're right. Sydney, I don't understand what's saying there, my friend. Hopefully it's respectful. Fingers crossed. Do you think Rasmus to Napoli will be a good deal for the Italian club? I'm Willie Frozen. Jamie Vargas, welcome to the chat. Legend of the chat. Yes, I Rasmus, for me, I'm really sad about Rasmus. I like the kid. I think his attitude is right. You know, he hasn't really moaned, complained. He was basically kicked out. He's been professional, and I think that I feel really sorry for him. Whether or not I think he's good enough, that's up for debate. Yeah, of course. Don't forget, guys. Hit the like, favorite, and subscribe. All you guys in the chat, double click on it. Give us a like, and that is always appreciated. It does push this video out. It does push this content out as well. You know, it really does. Just give us a little like, and it really does help us out. You know, it really pushes this out to a lot of people. I'll tell you what I haven't done. Again, I've just come off of the back of something today. See if I can stick these in. It kind of makes it. Let me know if the sound gets worse or not with these. And yeah, cool. Okay, here we go. It's Mainoo going, JB. I don't want him to go. I think that probably with Mainoo, I think a lot of it is it's difficult to tell. I don't think he is. if I'm going on logic, right? So logically, to me, there's a new contract there for him. There's so many rumours out there about 180k a week, etc. Do I think that's true? Probably not. It depends, I think, on what the truth is. I think it depends on who Mainoo has around him. If he believes he's like a Rashford and he's bigger than what he is, which I don't think he is. I don't think he thinks that, by the way. Maybe he does go. Watch along tomorrow. Yes, Scott, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to have to split that tomorrow, but I will do a watch along tomorrow for the Grimsby game. I'll be in 2 bits. I'll do a first half and then I'll do another stream for the second half because I need to fit it in between something. But yes, there will be a watch along for tomorrow. T1 Sugar Dash of T1 Sugar Dash. Yeah, of course. Time is 8 o'clock tomorrow, I believe. Yes, I think time tomorrow is 8 o'clock. I will check that, but I'll get something on for that. I'm really interested in basically the team. So, Danny B, does Mainoo go for me? No, because I do think there is something there. I think this fan base, and I get it, we are starved of results, and we just want people in this team. Now, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I wish I did. I wish I could get some information. I might try to get it. Channel's not big enough yet. It's on TV. Yeah, it is, Carlos. It's Tuesday, innit? I love it. It is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, probably, my friend. That's one thing I don't say is in it, but you know, I do say Tuesday, as it was. So mainly for me stays. I think we had to have a debate and a conversation about that. I'm not going to shy away from these debates, and what I love about this channel, what we do is we get both sides. I'm trying not to play the both sides. I will say Tulip plays legend as well. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I would always say, Labomi says, Liverpool and Arsenal and Chelsea showcase the young stars, yet we are talking about Mainoo. Is he staying or leaving? It's sad. It is sad. Absolutely sad. I think he stays. I think he has to stay. Unless we get 2 midfield players in, he has to stay. I don't see how he goes. So what I'm hoping for with Mainoo, it is sensationalism. I'm hoping that it is just paper talk because he's not played. Fans, there are certain fans who are going to go like over the top, but because this has come from Ornstein as well. Don't forget, this is not something I've plucked out my arse. This is Ornstein saying this as well. So there might be something in this. So that's my only worry about this, is that there might be something in this because Ornstein has said it. So the iconic picture of Mainoo, Rasmus and Garnacho, we had such high hopes. Exactly. No, it is sad. We can go back to Højlund as well. So I'm really sad about Højlund. I know. I think he was dealt a bad hand. He was in the graveyard shift. Or they keep Mainoo. Carlos, I agree. I think we have to keep him now. For me, it's a case of, we did him dirty. A believer is coming. Harry Skipworth. Let's see, my friend. We've said on this channel that we thought, I almost wish I'd have stayed in that believer camp, because we did say on here for the longest time, keep calm. I believe he's coming. I then had to change my mind, so I sort of wish I'd have stayed. But I think it's too late to get that deal done. But Harry, my friend, I really hope that you're right on that one. So for me, Rasmus Højlund, I think that he was in the graveyard shift. He came in at an ultra toxic time, really toxic at that time. You know, Rashford, Garnacho, Fernandes to a certain point, because Fernandes shooting from 35 yards, wanting to do everything on the pitch, no service to him. Apparently there was reports that his attitude, that certain players didn't like him, so they wouldn't pass to him. I don't know if that's true, but if that's true, then that is just disgusting, and it does show the mentality of him. I really liked Rasmus's mentality, but one of the things I did say on here for me, and this was my opinion on it, and it is out there to see, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite on this one, is that I did say that big clubs will just get rid of players like Rasmus, irrespective of whether we like him, whether or not we think he could be good enough. He's had 2 years, and big clubs would just pull the trigger, and that's what we've done on him. So I think I wish him well. I think he's too indoctrinated. I think he's got PTSD from playing with some of these babies, and I really, really want him to do well at Napoli. So, I think it's 40 million loan fee, might be 35 to 40 with a loan fee with an obligation to buy, I think, when he hits the certain criteria, which I think he absolutely will do. I hope he's a success. I will celebrate that as well. I've got a lot of time for Rasmus. I really hope he does really, really well. Obviously, if he comes back to the club with his new team, obviously I'm going to hope that he doesn't win. But I really do wish him well, because I think he's a fantastic lad. Works hard, but I think he just needs a different environment and a fresh change on that one. When we get Belieber, I still think we keep Mainoo, sell Bruno. Not a big fan of long ball. Oh, Harry, mate, the long balls for me were just disgusting. Yeah, I think Bruno, I think we are where we are with Bruno. I don't think he goes anywhere. I think we just have to just suck it up. I mean, I'm not, if you watch the videos, where I am on it. I would have sold him in June, but I have to just go, look, he's going to frustrate the hell out of me. I'm not his biggest fan, but we're going to have to go with him for now, because he's here, and Amorins is going to live and die. Now, I've always thought that Amorins is going to live and die on that decision to keep Fernandes. So let's see. Yeah, if you get into the chat, please like, favourite and subscribe. Literally just double click the screen, just press like. It's really easy. It really helps this chat, this amazing community, right? As much as it's my face on the channel and I talk, this isn't just my channel. This is your channel. This is a channel where you come on here and we debate it out. We talk logical. I get my opinions. This channel is not about me to get my opinions out. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to bring us together and try to form an opinion that maybe unites a fan base, or at least if it gets less toxic in the club, then I think we've done well. Chip Play says we've been ruthless with Garnacho and his attitude. I agree. Rasmus for his bad performances. Mainoo has shown talent and a solid attitude. We need to play him and develop him, not sell. I agree with you. 100% agree with him. That one. Lucky says Glazer's out. Rasmus Højlund, 6 million loan fee. Exactly. I think it's really good. Rob Tass says all the best to Rasmus. He's put in the effort. Exactly. I don't think it's nice to see when a player goes that we wish him well, and that's how it should be. That is how it should be. Rob Taff has club. I'll give Bruno to Carlos. Yeah, my friend. One of the things we've spoken about on here as well was that personally I would give Bruno until the next window, and then if he's still moaning and complaining and he's still not putting in a shift, then he can go then. And that's where I suspect possibly where he might go. Good sensible views here. Been lurking for a while. You don't need to lurk here, my friend. Get in your opinions. Absolutely. Rob, legend of the chat. Big up JB and all of the chat. Garnacho. I'll save Antony for a bit. So we've got Garnacho. So this is coming from Fabrizio Ornstein, I think, as well. No, this is coming from Fabrizio. Garnacho, the deal is really close. I'm still trying to finalise that deal. Now, I think Chelsea were hoping for an easy deal. I think they thought that we would buckle. I think we are prepared to let Garnacho come back and sit in the reserves. Now, I originally would say that, should I order a taxi? I reckon, Rob, we should all club together and get Onana a flight to wherever he wants to go. I agree with you, Scott. Bruno would never stop sulking. He infects this team so badly, which what I don't want for Fernandes is I don't want him to destroy his legacy at this club. I don't want him to do that. He's worked so hard in this club. I just want him to go away or just leave this club the way that he should do. He served his time. It's time for him to move. I just want him to go on his own terms, and we celebrate the player, we celebrate his career, and we go, look, you came in at a time that was the worst time. You probably steadied the ship for a little bit. We needed your goals. You were great, but now it's time to go. Oh, so Garnacho, I hope, Lucky, you're right about that, my friend. 43, even Mount said to get on with it on Sunday. Exactly. So Garnacho, Fabrizio, he's been consistent on this. I think it's close. It's just about agreeing a figure. I think Chelsea are trying to get a really cheap deal now. Garnacho's reports have come out from Fabrizio as well that he's rejected a move to Saudi. So I'm still of the opinion, I believe, that they think Chelsea, and this is not about the Chelsea fans either, right? This is just about Chelsea. This is how they do their business. I kind of admire them in some respects. They get business done. They want to get business done. I'm not happy with the deal, but I think they're going to wait till the last knock-ins of the window and try and get a deal done over the line. I think Garnacho is playing a dangerous game. Chelsea don't care, really. Chelsea won't pay 43. Exactly. I think they're trying to get this deal done for 25 million. For 25 million, as I've said, and again, I will give you my opinion on that as well, right? Mag says, I don't want him to go. Please keep him. What? Mainoo? Agree with you, Mags. Agree with you. Thank you for the chat. Welcome to the chat. I agree with you. I do not want Mainoo to go either. JB, what do you think we'll get for Garnacho, Sancho, Antony if you sell them? So I think Garnacho, 35 plus 5. I think Sancho stays. I don't think he goes. Sancho stays. I think Sancho, we pay him off, but I think Sancho stays. I don't think he goes. I think it's a loan. I don't think he goes because he's rejected so many offers. I don't think he goes. Antony, I think we need to be creative on that. I think 40 million. I think that's where we go with him. Onana, loan deal. I don't think he gets so. So I think we probably get, and if you're thinking about saving in wages as well, so Sancho, forget that. He's not going. Garnacho, 35-40. So 35-40 straight into the club. Antony, it's a loan fee of 4 million to 5 million, but then we'll structure the deal over X amount of years, so probably 10 million a year, but I think overall 40 million for him. And Onana, he won't get sold. So I think cash wise, maybe we get, maybe with all the savings and I think 60 to 70 million. I think when you account for future deals and you account for all that stuff and you count for the wages saved, particularly with the Antony and Onana, so I think we get around 70 million for all that as well. No player is bigger than the club. Amorins is our manager for the next 2 years. I agree with you. You can't keep second man. Just Kobbie has to move on. He doesn't have a role in this team. Niche fan, I don't disagree, right? Where I don't disagree, I don't want him to go. But I fully appreciate why people do want him to go. I fully appreciate that. For me, I'm Amorins in. So I have to go with the manager. And the reason why I back the manager is because if he F's up, it's on him. He's got these players here. Amorins so far has done the right thing. I don't want Kobbie to go, but I'm not privileged to know what is happening behind the scenes. All I know is the Kobbie Mainoo from a year ago, when he went to the Euros, when he played well. But has he changed since then? I don't know. So I have to trust in the manager for me. And if he makes his mistakes and he makes the team worse, then it's on him. and I'll be comfortable then if he goes. I don't want him to, but I think we need to. I think it is a bit early, and I think it is sensationalist. I think we announce. This is what I think we do, right? And you can clip me up on this as well. Is I don't think we get a midfielder. I think we pocket the money. I think we announce Lemens towards the back end of the window, and then we announce a Mainoo contract as well. So I think we do those two things, and then with Mainoo is going to be like a new signing. So that's what I think we do. I don't think we get a centre midfielder. I think we announce a keeper towards the back end of the window. So I don't know where we are to 26. So I think we announce him 3 to 4 days time, maybe on the window day, and then we do the same with Mainoo. That's what I think we do. About 100 million in total, Carlos. Maybe when you go like Antony 40, Garnacho 40, Rasmus 40, Onana if he goes 25. So you can count it like that, but we don't get that money all in one go. So maybe we do, and with the wages is about like 100 million, but that's going to be spread over 3 to 4 years. Also, Pereira going to go back to Brazil. There's a sell-on clause for that as well. No players bigger than the club. JB, no chance we get 44. Antony for betters. Apparently, we're holding on to that. I don't disagree. I don't see where they get that money from. So apparently, we'll soon see. I think we'll get creative with the deal, and maybe we go like 30. Maybe this loan is 5. Maybe there's another loan next year that's another 5 million, and then we split 30 over. Maybe it's 10 million a year. So maybe do 5 this year, 5 next year, and then 10 for the next 3 years. But I think as long as we don't make a book loss on him, I think we're fine. So whether it's 35 million and we don't take a book loss, that's all I care about with him, is that if we break even, I'm happy with that. So if we get 40 not, as long as we get the money to break even, then I'm happy. Ineos are with the manager, new midfielder, 28, Antony, Santos, go Betis. What are we doing? At Mainoo gone now. I have a feeling it could be toxic within the dressing room. No distractions. They have to go up and knuckle down. My only thing, niche fan, to that, and I'm not disagreeing, that's your opinion. If he goes, we're left with Casemiro and Ugarte. It's not enough. If we get another midfielder in and we send Mainoo out on loan, as much as I'm against that, maybe that's what he needs to go away for a little while. I'm not happy with that, but maybe that's what needs to happen. Not got heart in Manchester. Rob says, if Sancho stays, he's under contract, so will he be included because he has no beef with the manager? Rob, not a chance. I think basically if Sancho stays, then we'll just leave him to rot. This club can't get him back. They can't get him back into the squad. They can't induct him back into the squad because they can't do it. He's under contract. I would just basically leave him in the reserves, impact his career, and next year he can go and get the money that he wants. We all know he's a mercenary. I've got no time for him. I don't want to abuse him. I don't think that's right either. I just don't want to hear from him again. I don't want to see him. You can sit at home playing your PlayStation. You can destroy your career, and he's a player that will never be remembered for anything good. He's going to be like a Lingard. He's going to be like, can you argue Pogba? Maybe not, but he's going to be just a player who promised so much, and that's that. So if he does stay, that happens. Maybe he'll get a loan, but I think I don't want to hear from him again. I think he's done. He's been burnt out. Scott, I agree with you. I think he was played too early. This is what happens. This is what we've spoken about, right? Is that when you play a play too early, he's not a Rooney. He's not a Milner. He's not a Wiltshire. But Wiltshire was played too early, and look at what happened there, right? Rooney was burnt out by the time he was 30. Milner is probably a freak of nature. He's still playing now, but he's been playing since he was 16. So These things happen with these young players. They promise so much, they get played too early, they burn out. So maybe Amorins doing the right thing with him. He's trying to keep him back. And I'm telling you, I believe in another year or two's time, Mainoo will be one of the best midfielders in the world. We should get 45 million. I hope so. I said this before. Mainoo is easily the same price as Believer. Liam Mills, not right now. Not right now. Maybe in 2 years' time, I agree, but not right now. I think we need to keep him, we need to develop him, and then we see where we are. He possibly could be, so let's see. Get Onana out of our club, he's not good enough. I agree with you completely on that one. I believe Mainoo is not happy on the bench and getting 0 minutes. I hope he stays, but I think he will leave. Yeah, Rob, it depends on how ambitious he is. I'd love to see him go on loan, but we need to bring in another midfielder. We cannot let him go unless he's going to bring like a Kone in, for example, and actually play him. We need cover. This is my fear, right? This is my fear, is that Šeško plays, Cunha and Bermo play as the front three. Mainoo's gone. Okay, so let's just say Mainoo goes on loan or he gets sold. I think he then plays Mason Mount in the number, not a number 6, but he plays him in that midfield. You're going to have a Bruno and Mount pivot. That is an absolute disaster for me. I think that's what he does, and if he does that, I think he's in a hiding to nothing. And that's what my fear is now, is that he lets Mainoo go, and Mason Mount plays in the pivot because he loves him. And that will be, for me, will be a mistake, and that could be his downfall. So hopefully I'm wrong and Mainoo stays, but I can see that happening. I love now that Amorins is doing open heart surgery, exactly what we needed. These players, they need to grow up, just like the manager said. Very, very good point. Whoever doesn't go this window will go, possibly. Kalami says Liverpool. I didn't see 350 million on that pitch last night, my friend. Imagine nearly getting turned over by a Newcastle team with 10 men. You won, that's what champions do, but I wouldn't be getting all leery because we weren't that impressive. Yeah, so what I would say to Liverpool fans, and again, there's someone here that are great, just remember where you were for a long time. Just appreciate it. Just appreciate where you are. And I know you'll come good. I know you do really, really well. But just, I would say to you, just temper that expectation, because this season could be an interesting season where, Liverpool haven't been playing particularly good. Chelsea have been okay. City have been not great. Arsenal have been okay. So let's just see. I would say just chill. That's what I'm going to say. Dumb programmer says Aiden Heaven played his whole life at number 6. Do you think? I didn't know that. If he has, I think that'd be it wouldn't be a bad idea. I like Heaven. I don't know. I think that's a good idea. The thing is, right, if you're not going to sign a centre midfielder, I think Amorins likes him as a centre back because of his pace. I never thought about that. I didn't know he was a number 6, so possibly. I think you make a great point there. Maybe. Yeah. Nish Fan says, I finally see it now. It doesn't matter if we finish 10th for a couple of seasons. Amorins is changing the culture foundation. He'll be back on top within. My only problem, Nish Fan, with that, my friend, is that we can't afford to finish 10th. The problem with that is if we do that for, say, 2 to 3 seasons, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Newcastle, maybe Spurs are going to be earning £100 million every season. We'll be, say if we finish in 10th for the next 4 years, they're going to earn 400 million, nearly 500 million, £500 million more than us. They'll earn being higher up the league, potentially winning the league. We'll be so far behind. And I get we need to change the culture, and it does need time, but we cannot afford to be behind. We cannot afford not to have Champions League, mate. They're going to be 400 billion in front of us. They're already better than us. We can't afford that, mate. We need to see results now. As much as I don't think we are, I think we'll finish 10th this season, and I'm okay with that. But then the next season we have to start going for Champions League. The news that I'm seeing is that this is not over a new contract of 100k. This is where I agree with you, Joel. I've seen that it's all a load of nonsense. He doesn't want that. It's just I don't know why the club are putting that out there. It's an interesting one. I don't think he's asking that. So let's see where this one goes. Tomorrow is match on BBC. Yes, it is. But ITV. Yeah. So it's got you're right. No worries. Wages have been agreed. We're not a club who wants Man Utd for the moment either. Fingers crossed. We don't do business in the January window. I do. Got verts in my EPL. Damn it. Mistake there, mate. Yeah, I those £100 million players are like, no. I think he'll come good. I mean, you know, Liverpool is always worth it, right? Players in their team, but Verts for me is like, yeah. I don't know if he's the guy just yet. Amorins in. Pedro Vidal Szoboszlai is the boss. He weren't the boss yesterday. He got absolutely his arse ripped out of his face by Gordon. Szoboszlai yesterday was not the man. You know, conceding 2 goals. You know, shaky against a 10-man Newcastle side. The champions looked ordinary. Szoboszlai in normal terms, yeah, fine, but yesterday he really wasn't. He wasn't great. I think as soon as Šeško is a starter, Mount will drop to the midfield. Exactly, Robert Bruno, like you say, might not be good enough. That's exactly for me. That is one of my fears. Mason Mount in that midfield is going to be awful. If you let Mainoo go, we know Mainoo isn't the same. I trust the manager instinct. This will never be Ferguson and Renault's vision and want to achieve it. Each fan, I'm loving your optimism and positivity. I think we need that. And I do hope that you're right, my friend. Kato says, hi. Hello, my friend. No time for Lamens and CM. If we do exactly, Scott, I think it will be an absolute panic buy. What's happened to Malacia? Thought he was up for sale. Yeah, he is up for sale. He was going to go to Roma. He was going to go to Celtic. I don't know where we are on that. I mean, maybe we just let him on a free. I just think that I've just literally got an update for a second. Let me just have a look. Ross Harwood basically saying, oh, yeah, so Ross Harwood has just come on and said that he basically expects a deal to be to be agreed for Belieber in the next 12 months. Load of nonsense. I disagree. I think it's absolutely nonsense. Do I speak Italian? No. Lucky we have to keep Amorins. Trust me, I wanted to sack Amorins, but I realise he has to stay for Roma's built in a day. Agreed. We can't compare Ruben to Thomas Frank. He's an entirely different beast. Agreed. I think United are a different club to Spurs. The expectation at Spurs is quite low, and that's not a dig at Spurs fans at all. Scott Brown says I can't see us getting Belieber. I agree with you, mate. I agree. I think, and if we do a deal for next season, fine, and it's all agreed and it's signed. Some people right now talking out their butts because, as much as I liked Ross Harwood, Ross Harwood, he was good in the Šeško stuff. Maybe he was fortunate on that, but I thought he did really well on that one. But he's gone, he's been quite consistent on that stuff, and now he's saying that maybe we'll do it in the next 12 months. Nah. Why would Brighton do a deal in the next 12 months to us when they'll have a bidding war next season? It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't think it is. Christus Lord, mate, this is not the place for that. I appreciate, that kind of stuff, but it's I'm not getting involved in all that. Yeah. Sally Gold, David Ornstein, Ben, exactly. So I think this is where we are. Have I got anything else? What have I got on here? Can't even read my own writing. So if you basically have just joined, Garnacho is confirmed by Fabrizio. The deal is there, right? Garnacho wants to go. He has turned down a move to Saudi, which I think is ridiculous on his part, to be fair. He wants a Chelsea move. Chelsea are still holding out for a 25 million deal, I believe. Garnacho could end up looking very, very foolish here. I do think this deal will get done. What it will go for, I don't know. I wonder if it's a really, really low deal. And that's reminded me, right? So the reason why I believe Garnacho has to go for 40 million, 35 plus 10 even, is because you've got to look at the optics on this. And what I mean is the people who are looking in on this club. So Joel says 50 million or nothing. I don't disagree, right? You've got to look at this club. For the longest time, it's been a laughing stock, right? Of the transfer market, we've given our players away for nothing. Pogba went for free. We brought him back for a record. He went again for free. Our players have been going for free. Our players go for cheap. Exactly. But the optics on this are, if he goes for 25 million, the damage for me caused by this will just be worth more than 25 million. And the reason why for that is because if we then go for another player, we're going to be weak in the market. If we go and try and sell Mainoo maybe next summer, maybe he's worth 50 million, they're going to know we'll buckle out and they're going to want to pay like 25 million. So we have to get this right. This is one where we have to get this right. If we don't get a deal and a low ball deal, he can rot. I mean, I can't get away from it. I don't want him to rot. I don't want him to. I want him gone. But he's worth 50. And if they don't want to pay it and they're coming in of a low ball offer, I'd rather keep him. He'll be worth more than that. He'll be worth the same with that sort of next season. So I think this is, people don't appreciate how important this deal is. It's so important for the club for financially. It's important to the club from a perspective of how we're going to be viewed in the market. Imagine if Chelsea get him for 25 million. We'll be a laughing stock, and we can't do that. So I think we need to be brave. I think we need to go. If we don't get our price, then he rots, and then he stays, and then that teaches a lesson to players as well. So I'm all in favour of that. What's your thought on swap deal Mainoo and 40 million for Baleba? We need them both, mate. I think it sounds like a deal that we could do. I would rather loan Mainoo to Brighton and then buy him. I think we need both. I really do. I think we need both. I think Mainoo has got potential, but we have to trust the manager. If that's what we did, I wouldn't be fully against it, but I really do think that we need both players. I think we need midfielders. I'd rather sell Casemiro. I'd rather just give Casemiro away on loan, bring in that's what I'd rather do. But mainly for me, I think he's going to be worth. I think he's going to be worth more, and I do think that there's a player there. Smash a like on the button, guys. Just double press it. Let's do that. Onana has asked to leave, fair enough, but for me, we need a number one who's ready. Now, Lemens is under study for this guy. Rob, you make a good point. I think Lemens is coming to be number one. I do. I really think he is. I really, really think he is. And he can't do any worse, right? if he makes a mistake, he makes a mistake. So I think that Lemens might as well come in as number one because he can't be any worse than who's there now. What do I think about Steele? I think Steele would be a good option. I think he's a replacement for Fernandes. I like him. I really, really do like him. But I think he's going to be very expensive. And is he going to be worth that 50, 60 million? So the problem for me with Steele now is, at the moment, he's got a clause in his contract, 35.5 or 35.6. I think Stuttgart would buy out the clause, and then he becomes 50 million, right? To another team is 40 million, 45 million. To us, it's 50 to 55 million. Now, is he worth that? I don't know. Probably not. And then if we go for him next summer, then he's then going to be worth 70 million. So we can't win on this deal. I just think we cannot win on this deal. Stiller for me is a yes, but I think we need to overpay for what the player's worth, and I'm not really up for that. If Mainoo isn't playing, it just means he's not. The manager doesn't have have favourites. Niche fan, I disagree with you there, my friend. Maybe I agree on the Mainoo point, or maybe he's not. Fine. But Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw, Mason Mount are his favourites. Delo as well is a favourite of his. I'm sorry, my friend, but he does. Fernandes is playing every single game. Luke Shaw is playing. I'm devastated by Mason Mount and Luke Shaw, only on the basis that why they're still getting into this team. We don't have enough quality in this team to oust Luke Shaw, who's done and dusted. I know he had a good game and he still have some good games. He's done. Mason Mount as well. He's never going to be the same player. I know many of you like Mason Mount. I hope I'm wrong, but I think Mason Mount the Mason Mount that we thought that we were buying no longer exists, in my opinion. And I can't believe we don't have players to play. Luke Shaw as a backup player, fine. Mason Mount as a utility player, fine. But it devastates me to know that he still favourites those players because he knows he just doesn't have the squad. Stiller is a no-go. I agree with you. We need Mainoo play, bro. I don't disagree. Mainoo is a fantastic footballer, but he's a luxury, smooth type of player. Amorins doesn't want that. He needs high physical, heavy metal types. It's hard, these fan. This is one where I don't know what's going on. I can only give you my opinion and you give yours. I just don't know, my friend. I mean, for me, where's that Mainoo gone the season before last? If we get him back, fine. As I've said, I think it's because he's young, inconsistent. He still needs time to grow. I think this is a pivotal point for Amorins. If he gets this right, and Mainoo goes off and he doesn't, you can't compete. See you later, my friend. If Amorins gets rid of him and he doesn't become good, then Amorins' stock will rise, right? If he goes away and does really, really well, then he'll get hammered for it. So he needs to get this right. He needs to trust in himself, and if he does, and maybe you're right, and Mainoo goes, and he doesn't become the player that we thought he was, Amorins is right. But we're not going to know, and we don't know now. So he's going to take a gamble. Garnacho missed his BF Mainoo. Mainoo better play in the Carabao Cup. Isakali, I agree with you. Stop spamming or you will be blocked. Exactly. Tell me to shut up. Bye, mate. Goodbye. Tell me to shut up. Bye, mate. Exactly, Scott. You know, you shouldn't have to take abuse. One thing I will say on here is be respectful to this chat. Abuse will not be taken, especially to the moderators. No, this chat is some of the best, most logical chat from some amazing people on here. This community I will not allow people to be spoken to like that. And this is a community that is respectful. We even get other people from other clubs on here. They are respectful as well. So if you want to come on here, banter's fine. You know, respect is number one on here. And if you can't do, then Scott, some of the other moderators, including myself, see you later. Red Devil United says, what's happening with Antony deal? I hope we're not agreeing to a loan deal. Make these players sit on the bench, especially when it's a World Cup year. Red Devils, I'm gonna disappoint you here, my friend. So Romano, Fabrizio, we can't deny. No, I think Ornstein on this one as well is that Antony's going to go out on loan. I don't know how we structure the deal. I have no idea. But he's going to go on loan again this year. I think it's the only deal that we can do. I think he's going to go on loan, and then I don't know how they're going to pay for it. Maybe they're going to pay us with like buttons, or I don't know. But he's going to go out on loan again. So it's a disappointment to me, but I think we just need to get these players out as of now. As long as we don't make a book loss, I couldn't care less for me. Labawi, welcome to the chat. Becoming a legend of the chat, just like the Red Devils. I haven't seen much of Xerxes. He's a physical or type of poacher. Xerxes at a number 10. He's more of a physical number 10. He's got great feet. He's got really, really good feet. I almost like him there because, you know, I think he can hold off a man. He's got some great feet, and I can't wait for him to play. I really, really can't. The Devils United says huge respect to Højlund. Insist on. Do you know what? This sounds a bit corny, right? But every time I think of Højlund, it gives me, I get like a little shiver down my spine, right? Because he's a young kid, right? 22 years old. He's not a kid anymore, but he's like a young guy, right? Imagine having that drive, that ambition at 22 years old to go, do you know what? I came to this club. I had the balls to come to this club. I did what I thought was right. He came in a bad time, was expected to lead the line. Criticism after criticism. He'd get battered every single week. Not by the fans. Battered every single week. Came back. I thought he looked the fittest. Still wasn't the best. He'd been forced out by the club. Wasn't told he's going to leave. We just bought Sheska, and then he was told that, look, he can leave. Didn't throw his toys out of the pram. Didn't disrespect the manager, didn't disrespect the fans, didn't disrespect the club. I can't even tell you the respect I have for this young kid. This young man has shown up Antony, shown up Rashford, shown all these these more experienced pros up, and I wish him the best. I hope he becomes the best striker in the entire world, bangs in tons and tons of goals, because I've just got so much respect. You know, I hope he goes and smashes it up. I really, really do. I genuinely want Amorins out last night until we took the time to reflect. Exactly, Niche fan. This is what we do on here, right? We've got to take the time. We've got to talk about these different things. And last night's show, I'm going to tell you, was one of the most amazing shows that I've ever been part of. It was really, really proud for me last night because we did something. We spoke about it. And I thought it was just a fantastic show last night. I'm really, 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 really proud of it. Really good touch as he can't play the ball to his feet. Yeah, I agree. Redevil says, I know you are one of the most level-headed channels out there, so I ask you, what is the realistic expectations for this season? Because the reboot would take time. Redevils, brilliant comment. I like how you phrase that. So for me, I think we finish somewhere between 8th and 10th. Unless we get a centre midfielder, and maybe we dip into the transfer market. We have the same team that finished 15th, right? We can't shy away from that fact. He's still playing Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, Fernandes. So for me, I think we finish somewhere between 8th and 10th. I think we finish 9th. You know, people are going to go crazy and going to go, oh my God. As long as we show signs of improvement, I'm content with 9th. I'm not happy about it. I demand we finish first every single season. I demand Champions League. I demand a title. Not because I'm an arrogant person. It's because that's the standard we have to have at this club. We have to have a standard of we win things. We become the Premier League champs. That's what I demand. But I'm a realistic person. So I think we finished 9th this season. Anything above that, and I'm wrong, fantastic. I think the realism needs to be if we finish 9th, I'm content, and then we go again. And as you say there, we rebuild it again. We go another window, and then I think maybe in two years' time, that's when we start going, look, we now can push the Champions League. We now can push for a title. But I think you're right. It's going to take us probably 3 to 4 windows, and this is why we can't sack the manager just yet. We need to believe in the rebuild, and we need to take our time. But I think 9th for me. For me, it's so simple. I won't ever question the managers. Yeah, I think he's won the league at Sporting. When it's all said and done, he's going to be the new Pep. Niche fan. I'm loving that, mate. I love positivity as much as I love negativity. But what I mean by that is I love positive views. I also love realistic views. I will also, because you need to have the yin to the yang, and you also need to have this in between point of view. I try to take the balanced approach, not because I'm trying to play the both sides, but that's how I work, right? Doesn't mean I'm right, but the logical person in me has to follow what I believe. Doesn't mean that I'm right, but we need the yin to the yang, and niche fan, we need that as well. We also need positivity in the fan base as well. I like Rasmus. I think he'll go far with the right team behind him. I agree with you. So Jason Dempsey, see United penalty. It was awesome. It went in. Ha ha ha. Not. Jason Dent, welcome to the chat, my friend. It's not disrespectful. We don't mind the banter here. That's cool. I did see the penalty. It was absolutely atrocious. I agree with you. I wasn't laughing. I had my head in my hands, and yeah, it was an awful penalty. The fact that Fernandes was put off by the referee, then spent the whole of the rest of the first half sulking about it, went into the dressing room at half time, come back out and was still giving the referee mouth. Mate, I'm not surprised other fans were laughing their heads off, because it was embarrassing, as one of the most embarrassing displays and most embarrassing things I've ever seen. Robert Taff says Rasmus will get better with time and development. He's going to a club Champions League football. Exactly, mate. Exactly. I agree with Lucky. Labawi says I'm simple-minded. The most of you. I just couldn't understand substituting defenders when we need points. Labawi, don't disrespect your view, mate, at all. I don't think you're simple-minded at all. I don't think you should put yourself down. You've got an opinion, and sometimes simplicity is what you need, and I agree with you. But the problem is that he doesn't have the players. He just doesn't have the players to come on. But a red flag for me is he brought on Maguire to get a goal. I mean, that's awful, isn't it? I say 3 windows. Give us time. I agree with you. Temishkin, legend of the chat. Temishkin, my friend, welcome to the chat. I love how he puts his team in there as well. Mitrovic, Lone King, Lee, Mitrovic. None of that's going to happen, mate, is it? Amorins was no good, then City was looking at him to replace Pep. Exactly. It seems patience timeline is getting shorter with each manager. Amorins makes me believe, and we need to get a better. I'm agreeing with the chat. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. We're so level-headed on here, and we can critique the manager, we can criticise the manager, but guess what? We're getting behind him, and this is what we need to do. We need to get behind this guy. We're going to take the rough with the smooth. He might not be great right now, but guess what? He's ours. It's like these players, Fernandes, he's not great, but guess what? He's ours. We have to, until these managers and players are not ours, they belong to us. We should be criticising these players, but they belong to us, right? And we've got to give them that time. And then if they're not right, they're not right, but we decide in a respectful way when they go. Exactly, the rush with this move. So where we are before I go, if anything does break, guys, I'll come back on and all that kind of good stuff as well. So Antony, as it stands, I'm always with the manager looking for Exactly, Lucky. Exactly, my friend. So where I am on this right now, Antony, according to Fabrizio, legend, or legend, and when he speaks, we have to. There are other channels out there. We want him out already. Where does he get? Where does it get us sacking another manager? Exactly. I just. It's so sensationalist, right? There's a difference, in my view, between criticising a manager, critiquing the manager without wanting him out. There's nothing wrong in critiquing him and criticising him and criticising the players, because that is what they need. But it doesn't mean you want them gone. It doesn't mean you want the manager out. It kind of may do, but I think that for now we need to be different. We need to stand up on here and be different. It's still fine to come on here, and I will respect all opinions, because it's a very, very divisive topic. We've been toxic for so long. I want to do something different, but that's just my opinion on it, right? God says there are, Red Devils United says there. Let's not forget, Bruno had 0 goals and assists to October. He ended up with 40 goals and assists. He's our best player. Exactly. And again, I love that. If Bruno Fernandes turns it round, I will support him. I support him every game. I will criticise him when he needs to. But if he scores, I will celebrate a goal more than anything else. Right? But the problem is right now for me is his attitude and the way that he speaks. So I think that if he can sort that out, I will absolutely back him completely. Positive, I agree. Criticism, constructive, right? It needs to be constructive. I've been, how many of us in life have been criticised for the things that we do? It doesn't matter if it's our mum, our dad, our other halves, our children, people in work. It's always going to be that out there, right? Has to be, right? And sometimes it's negative, toxic, but positivity is you can be critical of a person, but at the same time it's because you want the best for the person. Red Devils United says, also I really appreciate you are not abusing the players and the manager for views. I appreciate the honesty. Keep up the good work. Like you said last night, all we want is to succeed. Thank you so much. That really does mean a lot to me and to the channel as well. I just abuse is just it's got no place. Abuse is awful. It's horrible. Abuse is one of those things that is just in life for me is awful. You can call a player a mercenary. It doesn't mean that that's abuse. You can say a player's not playing good and you want a player out, but for clicks to jump on here and start screaming about players and saying that they're this and that, abuse is awful. That's one thing I will never do. Is abuse players. They may frustrate the hell out of me, but that's football. To abuse a person personally, I think it's one of the worst things that you can do in life. So you never see that here, my friend. Criticism of Amorins doesn't help anything. He's been guilty of it before. He's our man, and he's going to bring us back to the glory days. Niche fan, I hope so. I slightly disagree. He needs to be criticised in the right way, because if we don't, and he thinks he's doing the right things, for example, Sir Jim and the management board are going to criticise him. And when I say that, maybe criticise is the wrong word, but they're going to have discussions, okay? And he's not going to get things his own way. As a fan base, we need to be fully aware of what he's doing. I think criticise is probably the wrong word, but we need to critique him 100%, and we need to say to him, look, what you're doing is not right. You need to change it. Trust me, we've been watching this club. I've been watching this club for 38 years. I watch other games, and I'm sure Amorins knows more about tactics than me, and I'm not going to dispute that. But sometimes it's not just about that. It's about players that you see. Does he fully understand this league? Does he fully understand this club and players? I don't know yet. So I'm more than happy to get behind the manager, but I think he needs critiquing and he needs players as well. So with that said, I am going to go. What we got coming? Sporting were Sporting were down in the dumps when Amorins arrived. He removed some big names from the club and built the club again. We said exactly. This is exactly it. This is what we need, guys. This chat. Scott, niche fan. You guys are all right. I understand that you're saying Jimmy, but I feel like he has to be given carte blanche. Oh, niche fan. I think that's a dangerous. That's a very good statement. I think it's very, very dangerous. He can't be. No other club in the world has a manager given carte blanche, given the full reign to do what he likes. I disagree with that. I think he needs support. I think he needs people in his ear to question him, because if in life you're allowed to do exactly what you wanted to do, sometimes people abuse that power. I'm not saying that he does. I think he needs respect from this fan base. I think he just needs to, given that time, I think he needs a support team around him. I think that he needs to learn and adapt. Amorins' system in 10 years' time will be different to what it is now. So I think that, niche fan, I think some of your views are right. I agree with some of your stuff. He does need to adapt. Ferguson adapted, Pep's adapted, Klopp's adapted. You need to adapt, because if you don't, right, 4-4-2 would still be played. You've got to adapt. Everyone in life has to, right? I've got to as well. I've had children, right, and they're not the same as they were when they were 2. I've got one who's 14 now. I've got to adapt. No, I've got to learn. Everybody has to adapt. You don't have to break your principles to adapt. You can still play a 3-5-2-2-1, but maybe you've got to tweak it slightly. Everybody has to adapt. You've got to adapt in game. So, for example, if you're playing City and they're destroying you, right, the midfield is being destroyed, you've got to adapt in game. Otherwise, if you can't, you're going to get smashed. So you've got to adapt in life, and he has to adapt. Doesn't mean that he's got to change his system completely, but you've got to adapt. You have to in life. You have to adapt. There's a saying. It says you either adapt or die, and I've always believed that is that you've got to you have to adapt or die. But JB, he said absolutely won't adapt. He will not compromise on the system. It's make or break. Exactly that, mate. Exactly, niche fan, and I admire him for that. I admire him. Don't get me confused. I admire him for not changing, and I agree. So, guys, I am going to go. Thank you to those in the chat. It's been amazing as always. This chat is getting better and better and better. And I genuinely can't believe how good this is. I love all these opinions. You guys are agreeing, disagreeing on stuff. We don't agree, but it's always done with respect. And you guys are amazing. So thank you to everybody in the chat. That was getting too big to even thank everybody, but you know who you are. You guys are amazing. I can only thank you so much for being here. I always say this. It's becoming my saying now. Is in life, you can't buy time. The fact you guys have spent time with me today, you've spent a minute, second, an hour. I can't tell you. It blows my mind what we've done here, and all of you are part of that. Every single stream is all thanks to you guys, and without it, I wouldn't be here. You guys wouldn't be together. I'll try and get on tonight again. Ollie, I'm Satan. Fantastic. Probably be back on again tonight at some point. If anything breaks, I'll jump back on. So, for example, if something breaks, I'll leave here now. If someone breaks, I'll be back on again. So I just try and do and react as much as I possibly can. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are amazing, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care.